Today, let's talk about some water towers here on Austin's American Flyer. American Flyer came out with many different water towers through the years, including some that had different heights, different shapes, different colors. But in 1953, they decided to adopt a checkerboard pattern that anyone else get reminded of Purina Chow other than me? Anyhow, the checkerboard pattern was kind of a departure from their standard fare, and it's actually kind of a neat look. If you see a layout that has one of these on it, it catches your eye. They're really cool. And in addition to the attractive or eye-catching checkerboard pattern, they also included a stem that had a light bulb underneath it and the ability to create bubbles. The light bulb acted as a heat element, and due to some chemicals in the tube, created bubbles. And so as you can see behind me, we have 3 bubbling water towers. The 1953 type came out with a green base and a dark gray tower, and that's what you see here. And that was called their Type 3. Then they had another variation that had a light gray base and a black tower, and that was their Type 4. They also came out with another variation called their Type 5 that had a light gray base, black tower, and a plastic shed. And these were all part of the 772 line. Then, jumping forward to 1957, and from 1957 to 1964, they had a tower that looked exactly like this one, except it now was a 5-digit, and that number was a 23772. This happens to be the 5-digit variation, and the only reason I know that is because it came in a box that's a 5-digit. Now, for those of you that are acutely aware and pay attention, you may notice that there's something different about our 5-digit water tower. And so today, I'm going to be walking you through a little bit about this story and why it has a yellow tube on it. And we're going to replace that as well today on Austin's American Flyer. Stick around. All right, friends, here we are looking at our 5-digit water tower. And so here's the story behind this. I had the privilege of going with Ron, which Ron was one of the 2 gentlemen that I interviewed at Strasbourg, and he talked about growing up near the Gilbert factory and actually worked in the gift shop for a period of time and had family that were employed by Gilbert. That's Ron. And Ron and I went to York with a little bit of friendly competition. And the idea was that we were both looking for a checkerboard water tower. Neither of us had any specifics other than we wanted one. Neither of us had one. And so we just kind of had this kind of first come, first serve idea worked out that whoever saw it first would get first dibs. And there was a lot of stuff at York, but there weren't very many of these. And the first couple we came across were in really rough shape. And we finally came across one that was in decent shape, and Ron got that one. So I came back from York skunked with no checkerboard water tower. So I did some connecting with some people I know who, vendors that buy and sell. And suddenly ended up with the 3 you saw in the introduction. And I didn't intend to end up with 3 of them, but as all of us have this illness called electric trains or American Flyer trains, suddenly I had 3 of them. And my intention was to maybe see if I could find another home for 1 or 2 of them. But once I did a little checking and realized that I had 3 variations, I thought it's kind of fun. I don't have many things that I collect variations of, but because it kind of just happened this way, it's like, all right, cool. Okay, so why is this one got an amber colored tube in it? Good question. The person that sold this one to me actually sold me 2 of them, and as can happen with FedEx, when it arrived, the tip was broken, and you can see the picture I'm showing you now, but you can see the fluid kind of ran down the roof of it. And the person that sold it to me was, feeling obviously very concerned that I didn't get what I had paid for, because it was in great shape when it left their home. And so we worked out this agreement, and at that point I couldn't find any clear tubes, and they couldn't find any clear tubes, and so we found this yellow one. Neither of us knew that the yellow tube, which are for the oil derricks, are actually shorter by, as you can see here, I don't know, about a ½ inch or so. So they were kind enough to pay for the amber tube, and I put that in. But then after that time, I happened to be conversing with Todd at Trains and More, and I just said, hey, any chance you have tubes, clear tubes for Flyer water towers? He said, well, yes, we do. Like everything else, the prices on those are going up, and we're always nervous when we ship them, but we have them. So I got this from Todd, and it arrived in great shape. And so now we're going to go ahead and change it out. And I thought I would just go ahead and keep the cameras rolling while I did this, so those of you that have this can see one way to do it. The other thing that happened is there are 2 little tabs on the white shed here, and one of those snapped off in transit. Again, it's unfortunate, but it's also not a huge deal to me that happened, because the tower's still in good shape and the house is still in good shape. So with these towers, they have these metal tabs at the base, and like so many Flyer items, you can just take simple pliers and gently nudge those back into alignment with whatever slot they are made coming out of. Now, I had not really rebent these, because I knew when I put the base back on here that I'd be changing it again once I got a clear one. And so it's very simple to just pull the base off, and the ladder, sometimes you have to kind of watch for that, but they just kind of pop off if you get the tabs right, which I think I do. That one's just got a little bit of a kink in it, so again, you don't want to force it because they're plastic, but not sure what's going on with that guy. Why is that not coming off? It came off before. Okay. Very, very simply. Now you've got your ladder. And then up inside the bottom of the water tower is a rubber grommet that the tube slides in and out of. So obviously you want to be careful with these. They will break and then you lose everything. But it's pretty simple that they slide out like that. And just again, to see kind of the height difference, you can see good ½ inch there. I do like the yellow. It's really a cool effect. It's just too bad that the tip didn't stick up through the top of the tower, because that does 2 things. In theory, you're getting a little bit of the red light through the top of the tower, kind of like you would see in a water tower. But then also it provides some additional support. This is just a little bit oversized. My tube is just a little bit oversized on the end where they melted the tip on, so I had to spin it a little bit to get it to go up through the grommet. And then it's just a matter of reversing what you did to begin with. I think I want to straighten the base of this ladder out just a little bit before I put things back together. bladder holes are here. Make sure you get everything lined back up, as well as your tube, because it's going to rest into the hole right above the bulb where it's going to get heated. Interesting. It's almost like it's a little bit undersized compared to the old one. Huh. Well, the new tubes are a little bit shorter than the old ones, it looks like. And now it's just a matter of gently bending the pins back, keep the base from coming loose. And we'll go ahead and put power to this just to make sure that everything works like it should. And on the video, I will cut out this pause time. It usually takes about 5 minutes, well, 3 to 5 minutes for it to start bubbling. So, as far as you know, this will be instant. And just like that, we have bubbles. That was pretty quick. All right. Turn some lights off so we can see this a little better. Now it's interesting how of the 3 different water towers, they each have a different bubble pattern, if you will. And the yellow was different than what this clear is. The yellow kind of just would like, it lets some large bubbles periodically go up the tube. This is consistent with some fairly small bubbles. There's another one that's similar to this, but the bubbles are even smaller. And then there's the third one, it's kind of large bubbles and fairly constant, slower large bubbles, and these are faster, smaller. So just interesting. Certainly provides some variety, which is really fun. So anyhow, I hope you get a chance to get one of these, or if you have one and it doesn't work, I hope this has been helpful for you to see how to replace the tube, and hopefully you'll have a chance to get yours up and running again, because they sure are a neat piece. I hope you found this an interesting video today, and the tips on changing out the tubes on water towers to be a helpful thing should you run into that. As always, your comments are appreciated, and there's some interesting stuff at the end of this video for those of you that have the few moments to look through that. I'd encourage you to leave feedback if you would, and if you like the t-shirt I'm wearing, check out the Spring website. The link, GR code will be following here shortly. And until next time, God bless, take care, and we'll see you. Enjoy those flyer trains. Austin signing off.